It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast on this Wednesday, May the 15th, 2024, coming to you from improving weather, Central Virginia area. Boy, yesterday was brutal. As most of you know, I had to go to the pulmonologist yesterday afternoon, pouring down rain. So I had to ride my scooter out to the car in the rain, lower the lift, get the straps out of the way, take the lift all the way to the ground, take the chair around, get off the chair, drive it up on the lift, lift it up off the ground so I can get to it better, strap the thing down, all four straps, and then bring it up all the way, grab my oxygen and the pad off the chair because it's pouring down rain, and I flip the back of the seat over so the electronics is covered. So that's like 5 or 6 minutes in pouring down rain. Now, I did have on a sweatshirt, but by then was wet. So I drive across town to the doctor. It's raining even harder, and the parking area closest to the door is all full. So I had to drive down around it goes downhill and around back, which is actually level to a lower floor on that building, and park down there and do the reverse to get the scooter unloaded. So I get on the scooter and drive it up the hill in the rain. It was a pretty steep hill too. Got inside and I'm soaking wet. Totally soaking wet. And they got the air conditioner in there about at 40, it felt like. I was freezing. So I went on back and went through all the business. It wasn't a particularly good appointment, but that took care of that. And then I had to do the same thing going home in the rain. It was still raining. So I got wet again, loading the scooter at the pulmonologist. And then when I got home to get the scooter off and get it in the garage, get it out of the weather. So by then I was soaked. I'd been soaked 4 times and in the air conditioning. So it was like, wow. So this morning I wake up with a bit of a scratchy throat and a little sniffly. So, of course, I start treating for a cold. So, which I'm sure is what I got from sitting in the air conditioning. So if I sound a little scratchy at points today, take that for what it is. All right, so getting to the business at hand, the headlines today. The top story of this morning is Carnival Pride back in the news. A little bit of a funny story about that, which we'll get to when we get to the story. Margaritaville cruise ship fails surprise CDC inspection. Carnival completes Starlink connectivity. A welcoming ceremony for the Silver Ray. Multiple itinerary changes for Enchanted Princess. Another child porn arrest. And rescue from Ovation of the Sea. That and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, thankfully, folks, is one of my main holidays of the year. It's National Chocolate Chip Day. So by all means, go bake some chocolate chip cookies and send them to me. It's pretty simple. Just put them in a package and ship them to me. I'll be happy with that. Wonder if I can talk Amanda into doing chocolate chip cookies today. Huh. She's allowed to bite my head off. Oh, well. It won't be the first time. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the fat travel guy. All right, we got a couple things to do before we get to the news today. First, I showed you some pictures from Elizabeth on location. All right. So, and she said, after you walk 15 blocks carrying heavy stuff, I added a slight comment there. 15 blocks carrying heavy stuff, and you look up at that, you about have a heart attack. I can't imagine. Can you imagine having to go up that to get to your apartment? She doesn't. Okay. This one was pretty cool, folks. You want this is a bargain, a real bargain. This is the MSC Seaside, which sails from, where's it sail from? It sails from someplace. Barcelona to Miami on October 30th. And the cost is $299. Of course, that's for interior. But a balcony is only $649, plus taxes and port charges. But that's a bargain, folks. All right, so one other thing to do this morning. Why is this not working over here? It would screw it up, wouldn't it? Huh. My other computer's not working. So I can't see the chat room as I'm going. So let's check and make sure the chat room is working. Mike's here. Ken is here. Good morning, everybody. Well, there's Elizabeth. We're just talking about her steps. Gretchen's here. Joanne's here. Patricia Patrick's with us. Good morning to you, too. Cindy's here. Okay, so everybody's has got a bunch of people in the chat room. So I assume that everything is working well. So this is the MSC Seaside Transatlantic, a real bargain. Just call me if you're interested, folks. Now, yeah, you'd have to fly over to Barcelona, but for those kind of money for a 19-day cruise, transatlantic, well, that's pretty strong. All right, so I haven't had a chance to talk about our friend Steve Meta from out in Louisville. He's in Alaska. Now, some of you may have caught on or may not know that Steve and his wife are both visually challenged. And they're doing an Alaska, this is their first cruise, doing an Alaska cruise. And just to make things interesting, the airlines lost 2 of their bags. I have not heard if they caught up if they caught up with their baggage or not. I don't know on that one. So I'm hoping possibly to find that out eventually. And then we're going to probably have to have Steve on when they get home to talk about this whole thing. So that's also in the works. So I'm working on that. But anyway, they were in where were they? I want to say they were in Juneau and having an Alaska beer in one of the bars, and of course she's sitting around a fire to stay warm because it's cold up there. How about that? That's a bear, folks. So they saw a bear, and yesterday they were up with the puppy dogs up at Michelle Phillips' place in the Yukon Territory. So they got to see the Iditarod puppies. So they're having a good trip. Again, I want to talk to Steve. He's posted a number of videos on his Facebook page, and I can't download them. So Facebook, I can only do them if they're posted on Messenger. Messenger I can download stuff from, but on Facebook I can't. And he might not have understood the difference, which I can understand. But anyway, I did have some pictures that I could steal from Steve and show you what they're doing up there. So terrific that he's up there having a trip, a challenging trip, but I'm glad to see them doing. I'm all in favor of anybody with any kind of disability getting out and trying, and that's all we can ask for. And then you could be like me and have, you know, develop a whole life out of this, which I have. So, all right. So, do I have anything else this morning? I don't think I do. Let me double check here, make sure I haven't screwed up anything and left things behind. All right. So, we're going to go ahead with the lead story this morning. Comes from our friends at Carnival once again. I just about threw a fit this morning when I opened my news feed to another Carnival Pride story about canceling cruises. I thought, what now? Admittedly, I was still half asleep. Carnival Cruise Line has reached out to guests booked on upcoming sailings of Carnival Pride to let them know that 2 weeks of sailings are now canceled due to a change in dry dock scheduling. The impacted sailings are from March 29th through April 12th, 2026, when the ship was scheduled to be offering 7-night cruises from Baltimore. In my half asleepness, I missed the 2026. Instead, however, the ship will be entering dry dock for updates and renovations, and sailings during the window cannot move forward. I totally missed that date. Fortunately, the impacted cruises are more than 22 months away, which makes it easier for affected travelers to rearrange their vacation plans and for my blood pressure to return to normal. Yeah, that's a true story too, folks. And I see that Steve's in the audience today. Hey, Steve. Steve says, good morning for Glacier Bay. The video won't work with the ship's Wi-Fi, but I thought I'd say hello. Have a wonderful time. It's great, Steve. I was able to use some of your pictures here this morning. Unfortunately, I can't use your videos. I tried. I appreciate what you're doing. And I'll be back, folks, with some more news after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. Margaritaville at Sea Paradise has failed a surprise inspection conducted by the CDC. A number of issues were noted during the inspection on May the 1st, and the ship must now correct these issues or it could be prevented from sailing. The detailed inspections from the CDC inspect a variety of health and safety issues, including but not limited to food preparation in both guest and crew facilities, cleaning procedures, food storage, pool maintenance, plumbing cleanliness, and medical facility cleanliness. There were 65 different areas that the CDC noted concerns. Each violation noted by the inspection team is also given a recommendation for correction. Some of the faults were 6 people in a 4-person hot tub. This isn't a big major thing. Or crew members appeared unable to ensure that the proper concentration of antimicrobial solutions for cleaning fruits and vegetables were used. In total, Margaritaville at Sea score was calculated at 83. The CDC considers any score of 85 or lower to be unsatisfactory. The cruise line will implement as many correction options as possible and submit a report for their efforts, after which a new surprise inspection will be held to verify those corrections. After 18 months, 100% of the ships in the Carnival Corporation fleet have been fitted out with Starlink internet connectivity, paving the way for a more connected cruise experience. Since the release of Starlink Maritime in 2022, the Elon Musk-owned company has taken the cruise industry world by storm, promising a much better, lower latency connection for guests on board, but also playing an instrumental part in enabling ship systems to operate in a cloud environment, enhancing safety on board. With the completion of the rollout, Starlink on board the more than 90 cruise ships in Carnival's collection of 9 cruise lines, guests can now employ internet speeds that far surpasses anything possible in the past. Starlink isn't all about the guest experience, however, and quite frankly, just because the ships have it does not mean it's going to be as good as you have it at home. Still, there's a lot of people on board taking up bandwidth, so you might not have the same streaming possibilities that you're used to, watching Netflix, for instance. The system enables cruise lines to significantly improve their onboard technical capabilities. This ranges from real-time remote engine and critical systems monitoring to implementing predictive maintenance systems. These systems analyze real-time data to predict potential equipment failures before they occur, reducing any potential issues that could lead to a cruise ship breaking down and potentially canceling cruises. Starlink also ensures cruise lines can make use of artificial intelligence, predicting guest movements around the vessels. This can help in optimizing crowd control, ensuring the popular areas do not become overcrowded, and improving the overall guest experience. Congratulations to Carnival. Hey, solo travelers, we've got some openings on our upcoming Alaska cruise from Vancouver to Anchorage, sailing on the Grand Princess on August the 14th. Solo cabins start at $941.87, and that includes taxes and port charges. So you could actually get a solo cabin on an Alaska cruise for less than $1,000. You can add on the Princess Plus for $60 a day, so you'd be at $1,320 with everything. Just give me a call, 434-258-9264, and we'll go to Alaska. Silversea has expanded its fleet with the official introduction of Silver Ray. The official handover ceremony took place in M7, Netherlands on May the 14th, 2 days ahead of schedule. The handover included traditional maritime flag-changing ceremony, during which the ship's flag was switched to that of Silversea, signifying the transfer of ownership and command from shipbuilders at Meyer Werft Shipyard to the cruise line. Silver Ray will embark on its maiden voyage on June 15th from Lisbon. Enchanted Princess is having multiple changes to her planned August 31st sailing due to local restrictions on cruise ship visits. Guests have been notified of the adjustments so they can reconsider their travel plans if preferred. Enchanted Princess is scheduled to home port from New York City for the autumn sailing season. The ship will be offering a total of 10 7-night cruises, exploring popular ports in New England and Canada at the peak of the fall foliage period. Unfortunately, the ship's August 31st sailing will not be keeping to the original planned itinerary. Guests are being notified of not one, but 2 port of call adjustments for that cruise, with a third change shifting the time the ship will be visiting another destination. Enchanted Princess will no longer call on Rockland, Maine on Tuesday, September the 3rd, will instead call on Eastport, Maine. Enchanted Princess will no longer call on Newport, Rhode Island on Sunday, September the 1st, and will instead spend a day at sea. Enchanted Princess will also change the time she visits Boston, Massachusetts, While the port of call will still be on Monday, September 2nd, the ship will now be in port from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. rather than 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Also on the pre-cruise History Land packages from Washington, D.C. that I talked about yesterday, I have been assured that all buses are wheelchair accessible. Another crew member was arrested in South Florida on charges of child pornography, bringing the total of cruise ship employees apprehended for possessing child abuse materials to a total over 3 months. Police officers from the Miami-Dade Police Department arrested Iwayan Pasek Brahmantra, a 32-year-old man from an unidentified cruise ship, on charges of possessing child pornography and a bestiality video. From yesterday's story on the arrest of Komang Parianta, it has been revealed that he was employed by Royal Caribbean and assigned to Icon of the Seas. The Air Force Rescue Coordination Center activated the California Air National Guard's 129th Rescue Wing to conduct an airlift operation to evacuate a man from a cruise ship to a hospital. The 64-year-old man experienced a heart attack while aboard the Ovation of the Seas, which was positioned 800 nautical miles off the coast of San Francisco, California. Medical personnel on the ship determined that the man required advanced medical attention. The rescue team rendezvoused with the cruise ship, conducted a hoist operation to airlift the man onto the helicopter for medical care and transport to Regional Medical Center in San Jose. The helicopter conducted 4 in-flight refuelings during the mission. The man's daughter, Veronica Good, reported that he is currently in stable condition and recovering. Author Ivan Cox is delighted to announce a comical cruise in the Caribbean to celebrate his hilarious novel, Cruise Ship Doctor. The Norwegian epic will depart from Port Canaveral on November the 16th for a rollicking 7-day cruise through the Caribbean, where Cox will read from Cruise Ship Doctor and regale passengers with humorous behind-the-scenes true anecdotes from his adventures as a cruise ship doctor. The Cruise Ship Doctor Cruise, sailing November 16th from Port Canaveral. Prices start at $639 for double occupancy, and solos start at $1,049 plus taxes and port charges. Join us on November 16th from Port Canaveral for the Cruise Ship Doctor Cruise. That's going to be a fun one, folks. All right, that's going to wrap up the news portion of today's show. So now I can go see if anybody's fussing at me over in the chat room. While that was going on, I did manage to get my other computer working. So I was able to catch a few things here. Roger says, good morning from Melbourne, on the way to Palm Beach to pick up the new train auto outboard motor for Sam's dinghy. Wow. Oh, so you're not going on the trip. You're going, I gotcha. Wow, I was misreading that totally, Roger. You're getting the new motor for Sam's dinghy. I got you now. All right, Mike's with us. Hey, Mike, Kenneth's here. Ours Elizabeth says, Buena dias and gang. Gee, sounds like a trip to the hot tropics is what you need. You need some vitamin C. Yes, yeah, I agree. No doubt about it. Gretchen's with us up in Ohio. Joanne's here. Patricia Patrick, good morning. Cindy Lee is here. Elizabeth says, hi, Cindy. When are you in Cozumel? We should meet at No Name, and I will get the ferry over there that day. Hot Air Tom says, hello, everyone. And there's Steve. I caught Steve from Glacier Bay. I'm excited. I can't wait to talk to Steve. We're going to have Steve on the show one day to talk about this trip. I want to see the bottom line of how they did it. I'm dying to know if they got their luggage that the airlines lost. Friday, May the 31st, she'll be in Cozumel on the MSC Seashore. Hot Air Tom says, Chillie Cruises, doesn't your power chair go out in the rain? Yeah, it goes out in the rain. But I mean, I rode it from the garage. I keep it in the garage. I ride it out to the car because I can't walk to the car anymore. So I ride it out to the car, and then I start all the procedures of getting the chair on the back of the car. Well, it's pouring down rain, so of course it goes in the rain. It rained on me all 4 times to get loaded up, to unload at the doctor, to load back up at the doctor, and to get unloaded back here at the house. So I got soaked. The chair got soaked. The chair's fine. It's in the garage. It can take the cold better than the old man can. Ah. Cindy says, did you see Margaritaville at seafood? Yeah, I had that. That was the story. Story this morning. Yeah, I had that. Todd says, good morning, everyone. Roger says, I forgot to ask you if Carnival Elation in Jacksonville was 7 stories up. Okay, I got to tell you a funny story about that one, Roger. Yes, it is 7 stories, which was no problem for me. I mean, I just went up each one of the 7 ramps, My chair will do pretty much anything. And I really didn't have any problems getting on the ship. But getting off the ship, I was maybe down to about the third deck down, going down. And there was a lady that was kind of holding up traffic. And how can I say this and be politically correct? The lady had a rather large butt. She was very wide, so wide that people couldn't get around her in the walkway without feeling uncomfortable about passing her. Well, I couldn't take that anymore, so I finally just said, excuse me, and went around her. And I think some people started because she wasn't behind me when I got down. But the thing is, she was that slow going downhill. How long did it take that poor woman to get up the 7 flights of stairs? I mean, up the 7 flights of ramps. So, holy cow. I really feel for the ambulatory people that have to do that walk. That's a killer. What happened to my stream? It just went funky over here on the other computer again. So I might have had a blackout there. I don't know. I asked that because you said you took the scooter. Oh no, I didn't take the scooter. I took my chair. Now I understand, Tom. Yes, I take my chair all the time. I don't use a scooter at all anymore. None. Don't even put me on a scooter. They're dangerous for me. All right, that's going to wrap up the show for today. This afternoon, I get to go get the needle stuck in my butt. The big long needle. So I go to the oncologist today to clean up their mess from 2 weeks ago when they misscheduled me. I'm sure I'll have to fight with them over charging me again. But we'll see on that one. So that's this afternoon. And then tomorrow afternoon, I'm doing an interview, which hopefully will be on the show Friday. Kind of a special interview, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, guys. that's going to wrap me up for today. As always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you'd like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, chilly chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.